I have a huge announcement. I have a fun game coming. So if you go to freeoutside.com, there is an outdoor March Madness bracket. So we're going to have a contest. We're going to see which outdoor aspect is going to win. So go there, fill out your bracket, how you think it's going to go. It's all on the website. I created it. It was a ton of work. And we have a bunch of prizes. So there's going to be a grand prize for who picks out the best bracket. And how will the matchups be decided, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. So there's a link on there, and on Google Form, you can vote on each matchup. And so we're going to go round by round all of March and see which outdoor aspect wins, prizes, raffles, all this stuff along the way. I've been putting way too much work into this, but the world is crazy and we need something fun because we're not going to talk politics here. So I created this bracket on the website. It submits. I'm going to put a leaderboard up. You can follow Free Outside Podcast on Instagram or come back to the show every time I release one and we'll talk about the leaderboard. We're going to do an episode with bracketology on breaking down the aspects. Some of the examples of the matchups that we have are, we have like the trail region. So that would be like the Appalachian Trail. We have the problems region. That would be like different issues that you might have on the trail. Maybe blisters, mud, wrong turn, mosquitoes, chafing, post holing. Then we have the snack region, which I think is going to be a fun one to see what people choose. We have peanut M&Ms, running gels, paydays, Oreos, trail mix. And it's very much like March Madness, where the 1 seed is versus the 16 seed. So in the trail region, the 1 seed is the Appalachian Trail, and that is facing off against the 16 seed, the Timberline Trail. So fill out your bracket how you think people are going to vote, and we will crown a winner. It will be fun. I think we're going to take until the true national championship game for college basketball because I am a fan and everyone loves brackets. So the voting, each round, it's listed on the website, but each round will be a few days. You can vote each round and then come back and vote for the next round and keep being entered to win prizes and stuff and raffles. We have race entries to give away. We have products. We have gift cards. We have all kinds of fun stuff. And so all you got to do now is fill out your bracket. Freeoutside.com. I'll put a link down below, but if you just hit freeoutside.com or Google Free Outside March Madness bracket, you will find it and it will be fun. So the 4 regions, we have trail region. So we're going to pick the trail that comes out of that. We have snack region, we have problem region, and gear region. And so what I think is going to be really fun is once we get to a final 4, it will be a trail against a gear item and a snack against a problem region. And then whoever wins those 2 matchups will be in the final. So we might have a snack against a trail. And how will voting go? Nobody knows. It's so random, but it'll be so fun. So lots of fun prizes. It'll be really fun, and just put in your choices for how it's going to go and vote on Google Forms. It's all open right now, and it will be open until next Wednesday for submitting a bracket, and voting will continue through early April. Okay, that is my big announcement today on the podcast. I've been fascinated, and I have Coach and Athlete who's been fascinated, and Jeff Snyder, who was on the podcast in the month of Jeff, about how far people can go unsupported. And so I talked to Cody Taylor, who has done the Bruce Trail and the International Appalachian Trail unsupported, and he's doing the out and back of the Long Trail unsupported. And we just talked some things like that. I thought it was pretty interesting to get into that and just kind of hear what he has to say about doing such long things unsupported. I personally have done the Colorado Trail unsupported, which was about, 500 miles or so. I think it took 9 days. So I have some experience, but it was a really fun conversation. I hope you enjoy it. We've kind of ventured a little bit more into trail, but we're in a little lull in ultra running. But thanks for sticking here no matter what discipline you're into. And remember to get those March Madness brackets in. All right, here is Cody Taylor. Today on the Free Outside podcast, we have on a guest who's done a lot of unsupported long distance stuff and has quite a journey to getting there. Today we have Cody Taylor. Did I pronounce that right? It's not
Yes, sir.
Cody
Yes, sir.
Taylor.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So how would you describe yourself? What have you done in the last couple of years?
Well, I mean, like I like during the pandemic, I started running, and then like I remember like in 2023, like I had this crazy goal. Like obviously, man, during the pandemic, I think a lot of people that got into running was like really heavily influenced by David Goggins, and like love him or hate him, he had a time and a place for me personally. So, obviously now I see his content and sometimes it makes me laugh, but man, he's the reason why I went from like being out of shape to like started running and whatnot. And like 2023, I ran the Atacama Desert in Chile with my coach Ray Zahab, and Ray was the one that introduced me. He's a legend in the endurance community, and he's the one that kind of introduced the idea of doing these big trails and talked about Unsupported briefly. And I remember like he talked about like 5 trails, but the first one he talked about was the Bruce Trail, is 900 kilometers, and I'm like, okay, so then I just 2024 I bought all my gear. I never even camped out really before. Like I never did any backpacking or anything like that. So I had like 4 or 5 weekends to train for this trail, and then yeah, I just kind of went for it in 2024.
Wow. So no experience. You just went for a 900-kilometer
Yeah, basically.
unsupported adventure.
Yeah, so like I bought all my gear, and then like I live like right like I'm on the border of the states, so I was going upstate New York and training the Adirondacks a lot.
Hmm.
And then like I was just doing big weekends there because at the time, right now I'm doing online coaching, but at the time I was doing in-person coaching. So I only had weekends to go out and do these things. So I had like I said, I had like 4 or 5 weekends where like I did 2 massive days and one night of camping. And then my biggest like overnight adventure was like I scoped out the Bruce Trail, but like in the Tobermory section, and I did from like Tobermory all the way to Owen Sound, and that was 240K. I did like 3 nights, 4 days. It was very, very technical over there. And yeah, man, just kind of like had like my my camping, just kind of was testing out my gear and whatnot, and just it was my first like multi-day adventure. So and then like a week later, I just went out and got after down the Bruce Trail. So
So what did you like about it? What drew you in after the first time being out there? Because some people would be like, yeah, this isn't for me.
yeah, I honestly, man, it's you're just not like there's no distractions, like you're so in tune with what you're doing. Like I find sometimes like with running it's like I got a lot of voices going on in my head sometimes, and like the first couple hours of my run it'll be like I still got those voices in my head, but then by the third hour I'm like dialed in. So it's like whenever you do these adventures, especially when you're on your own for like 2 weeks, it's like, man, you come out of it a different person. And I say this all the time, but like it's just like you get back home and you just appreciate everything more. Like just, like water out of the tap. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's just
Yeah.
like stupid things like this, or it's just like, sleeping in your own bed, and eating real good food. It's like, I don't know, man. I really think these adventures, doing hard things is really, it's really kind of brings, I don't know, like it makes you appreciate things more in life. So.
Yeah. So what's the progression? When do you start running for the first time? When do you decide to get a coach? And then it sounds like it kind of took off from there. But how did you even decide to make running or trails in general a part of your life?
So like I'll kind of give you my whole backstory real quick, but like I was a musician, like I was a drummer, and I was touring all over the North America, and like I that was my whole dream, man. Like that was my goal in life, was to become like a touring professional musician. And my last band, we got signed to a major label, and I remember like the pandemic hit, and I was really kind of struggling with the idea of continuing with the musician being a musician, because like I've been with my wife since I was 16. We bought a house. Like I started my HVAC company at the time. I'm out of heating and cooling now, but like I started having like things that were like working in my favor, and like being a musician, even though we were signed to a major label, like it doesn't mean that we're just gonna be like rich out of nowhere. It's like it's still a grind. I'm still gonna be broke. I'm living out the road, and it's tough having a wife that you care about a lot and then being on the road for 3/4 of the year. So
Yeah,
that was.
it'd be better if you didn't care about your wife.
Yeah, well, I always said, man, it's like people that thrived on the road being a touring musician had a broken home life. They didn't have a good family,
Mhm.
and they didn't have a good wife. And I have a great family, and I have a great wife. So it's like it was really hard for me when I would go on tour to leave the people that I love most. So whenever the pandemic hit, like I started running, and I remember like the adrenaline rush I was getting from running was almost the same feeling as what I would feel whenever I play in front of thousands of people. Like I had the opportunity to play after like Def Leppard and stuff like that. So I had these opportunities to play in front of thousands of people, and like, but the amount of work it takes to get to that point to play in front of all those people, and like, touring, you're sleeping out of a van, you're working with a bunch of dudes that are also dirtbags. It's like everything you're doing is just like, it's a lot of hard work for that 30 minutes of performance. And then with running, it's like you could put on your shoes, lace up, go out the door, and do it any time of the day. So I really fell in love with the sport of running during the pandemic. And like, so I mean, I'm kind of like an all-in kind of attitude, and like whenever 2020 hit, I couldn't even run 5K, and then 2 months later, I had a Vans book bag with like a 3-liter water bladder and just a couple of Cliff Bars, and I ran 40K, and then like I progressed the year after to like doing ultras, and then I started like towing the line for like these 100-mile races, and then yeah, man, like 2023, that's whenever I reached out to my now coach Ray Zahab, and I just kind of like, because that's what I always did. I always tried to surround myself with people that are doing the things that I want to do. And Ray was very, very kind. He got on the phone with me, and then next thing you know, I was signed up to go to the Atacama Desert with him in November 2023. So when he saw me running down there, sorry, I think he saw that I had a big engine. He saw that like I'm not the fastest guy, so he knew I was gonna get podium ever. So he's like, if you really want to move the needle, he's like, you should check out these big unsupported like kind of trails, like this idea of doing things unsupported. So I don't know, man. It's like, if it wasn't for Ray, I wouldn't be doing these things. Like I didn't even know anything about the Bruce Trail. I didn't know anything about the International Appalachian Trail I just did. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm so new to this whole sport that I'm still discovering these things now.
Yeah.
You know?
What does it feel like to play in front of thousands of people, to play music? Try to describe it.
Dude, it's a rush, man. Like you black out, you totally black out. But then whenever you get off, like it's a dream, you get off you get off your drums. I remember like after that one show, like I saw this girl take her top off, so that was pretty wild. So it's like I'm sitting there, I'm like throwing my sticks out of the crowd. I'm like, man, like this is a dream I've had since I was a 12-year-old kid when I first started playing drums, and now I'm doing it. So, but it's crazy because like I did these shows, I did these major festivals, and it's like that became my new normal. I'm like, well, it's just like you got a taste of it. Now you think it's just going to continue, but then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and then music was stripped away from me. So it's
is it sort of like, to make money in music, you have to do live shows, and that's why the pandemic stripped it away?
Yeah, yes, for sure. Because back in the day, like you could sell albums, right? But now everything's streamed on Spotify and everything, and like merch. Dude, being a tour musician, like I played with a lot of bands that like are really like have a big name for themselves and are still like, I remember this one band in particular. I'm not gonna drop their name, but like they were huge. They were already a band for like 15 years, and I remember I talked to the band members, and they said they were pulling in $100 a night like for themselves, because they had a tour bus, they had management, they had a whole team that's working for them. So it's like by the time you pay everything off, it's like you're only pocketing $100 per night. So it's like it's just, man, I don't know, man. Like I think my goal in life right now is I want to create a successful business and then do things on my own dime and my own doing, like I don't want to be, I don't know. I don't want to be really a walking billboard. I don't want to be like doing things for other people. I kind of want to just like make my own money and do these trails and do my own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
totally. Was it hard to kind of move on from music since it was a lifelong dream?
for sure, man. It was one of the toughest pills I had to swallow, basically. Like I remember jumping on the call with my bandmates, and I was like, I don't cry, and I not very often, and like I was nearly in tears. I was like, it was such a hard thing to do. But it was crazy because like I even got like my guitar player, which has been a good buddy of mine for a while. He actually, at the same conversation, he quit as well, because like we were both feeling the same way without even talking to each other. We both felt the same way, and we both ended up leaving the band. The pandemic, man, was a tough time for a lot of people. I think it made people realize like, what they were doing currently wasn't good enough, or they wanted a change, So it was a shitty time for a lot of people, obviously. For some people it was life changing, like literally. For me, like, obviously, I was very lucky. Like I didn't have any family members like affected by COVID or anything, but yeah, it just gave me that time to really reflect on what I want to do in life. And yeah, now I run this business with my wife and I'm very happy and I'm doing something where it's like it's in my control. Cause the thing is too, Jeff, is that when you're in a band, you're dealing with 4 or 5 other guys. So it's like, let's just say if you got a tour booked, it's like you got to be on the same page with those 4 or 5 other guys. With me right now, it's like I'm gonna book. I'm doing. I told you like I said on Messenger, like I'm gonna do this long trail in August. Like that's me doing that. That's me planning it. And the only thing that's gonna hold me back is me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's what's cool about doing these solo adventures. And then unsupported. You know what I like about unsupported is that there's no logistics to it. It's like, okay, like for sure you have to pack the food. Like there's some thought behind it, but I don't have to have a crew or anything. It's like you just have to get dropped off and then get picked up at the other end. You know what I mean? So I,
Yeah.
I think that's what's really cool about the unsupported stuff there. And like, like what you did there on the Appalachian Trail, like bro, like honestly, congrats. Like it's honestly a real honor for me to be here right now. I really look up to you as an athlete and it was really cool that you reached out to me like this. Well, I reached out to you, but you got back to me, which is really cool, man. So thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so
totally.
much.
Let's dive into kind of the unsupported stuff. So, how do you plan out your, I guess let's start from the beginning. When you decide on a trail, how do you break it up? How do you incorporate nutrition? How do you plan all these things? Because I've done about 500 miles unsupported. So I think it'd be kind of fun to just have a conversation about how you break it down and plan for something because it's so much further than most people consider for an unsupported adventure.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like on that Bruce Trail, the 900K, I actually this is crazy story, man. So I packed like food that I could stomach and my food my per day food bag was 2.5 pounds, which I could get that lighter now. Like now with a bit more experience. And I got another guy, his name's Jameson Hatt. I'm gonna talk to you about him soon as well. He's kind of been coaching me as well with this whole long trail stuff. And he wrote me up a list of what I should pack for my food days, and we got down to like 1.75 pounds per day. But on the Bruce Trail, I expected, I'm like, you know what, I'll probably do this in about 2 weeks. So I packed like 14 days, 2.5 pounds a day, a bit over 4,000 calories a day. And my coach told me, he's like, the first so many days, like if you don't eat all your food, just throw it out. He's like, it's just added weight. So I did that. And then on the back half of that trip, I realized I'm like, oh shit, like I'm running out of food. So I ended up doing like the last 100 miles with like I think I had like 2 Larabars and a pocket full of pepperoni. And I ended up like running like it was like the last 100K. I literally just had pepperoni and I lost like 30 pounds in that adventure. So like I did like a 50-hour push with like a few dirt naps and like no food. And what's crazy is that I threw out food in the beginning of the trip. So
Wow.
yeah, so like the plan behind like to the nutrition and all that, like I figure it out whenever I'm doing my training. I like what I was doing for the last couple trails was like high calorie dense bars, but like that you could read the ingredients on. So it's like a Larabar is like 3 ingredients, right?
Hmm.
I do a dehydrated meal every night, and then I would do like I didn't really pack too much candy last trip. I think I packed like 8 fuzzy peaches. I focused more on like fats, like pepperonis and stuff like that. Um, yeah, man, I don't know. Like the last two trails were a little bit different, and then this trail that I'm gonna be doing, the long trail, like I'm gonna be packing more like macadamia nuts and nuts like that, like stuff that's like lighter in weight but high calorie. So
Yeah. Two
it's
Larabars and a pocket full of pepperoni sounds like a good song title.
right.
Yeah.
But
So, do you know how many
yeah.
calories a day you're packing roughly?
Well, so this is what I was gonna say. Like, so I find the last two adventures. One thing I realized, because I usually kind of fatten up right before the trip, so I could go the first like 3 days with like honestly, man, I don't eat much. I'm pretty good. I could probably get away with like 3,000 calories a day, and I'm moving for like 12 to 14 hours a day.
Hmm.
But I can get away with that because like I do pack on quite a bit of weight right beforehand, and then after that, usually it's about 4,000 calories a day. So yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna do to save a bit of weight next trip is like try to like bring down the calories for the first few days.
Okay. Yeah. Do you pack each day individually? Like, how do you
Y-
separate out calories so you know how much to eat each day?
Yeah, I pack it separately. It's all in a Ziploc bag. Last year I did I vacuum sealed each bag because like where I was last year there was a lot more moose and black bear. Like
Hmm.
there was more moose than were people out on that trail. So I was really worried about like, just critters coming up to my tent at night and stuff like that. So I figured vacuum sealing the bags would be maybe a good fit for that trail, but I didn't really like the vacuum sealed packs because like it kind of made it into like a brick. So there was no flexibility in the bags whenever you're trying to stuff your backpack. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I don't know. That was one thing I learned.
Yeah, and then do you know which day you're eating which food, or do you just
They're all
pick what you
this
want? Okay.
they're all the same, really. They're all the same. And I don't really think too much about like of it there. Like every day, like I try to throw in maybe a little bit of different variety, but I don't know. I'm pretty good, man. Like in terms of like what I could stomach, I'm pretty rock solid with that with my nutrition. And like, like it's crazy. I know it sounds like a long feat, like, but in the grand scheme of things, like 2 weeks is not that long. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like I find like you could kind of do anything for 2 weeks, and it's not like I'm gone for 2-3 months or anything like that. So, I just try to keep it simple and make sure that I don't really have to think about it too much. Just go out and just eat and yeah, just try to get my electrolytes in and just be smart out there.
Yeah, I coach a couple athletes who have some interest in longer unsupported stuff, so I think it's kind of fun to chat about. How big a backpack or what kind of gear did you take for the trip, and did you have to camp most of the time?
Yeah, no. So I mean, so this is I don't know. I messaged on the last trail I just did. It was funny. Like I emailed the FKT website and I told them that there was cabins because there were the man on the IAT. It was very very remote, very rough, but it
Hmm.
was they had these cabins every 12 to 20K. And like these full log cabins with bunk beds and mattresses and friggin' wood fireplaces. And I emailed them and they're just like, oh no, for unsupported, you can't use them. So I would camp next to them because it's the only place I could like sleep. Like there's the only place I could set up my tent. But then I found out later that you can. So like, I don't know. I don't really know what the rules are still, to be honest with you. But I sleep in my tent. I feel comfortable in my tent. I like my tent. I use a closed cell foam mat. Like I don't have a blow up mattress or
Hmm.
anything. I'm a back sleeper, so I could sleep kind of on anything. I have a Nemo Hornet Elite tent that I've used on my last two adventures, which I'll use again on this adventure. And then yeah, man, just a Durston backpack. Durston was kind enough to send me a backpack, and I really really like that backpack because my first backpack that I used on the Bruce Trail. I'm not going to drop the name of it, but it's a well known backpack, and it actually it kept loosening up on me, man. And like what ended up happening on day 4. I ended up losing the skin on my back because the backpack kept riding up against my back. So
Wow.
like there's a picture I posted on Instagram. I had trail toes tape that I packed last minute, thank God. And I taped my entire back. And thank God that tape stayed on for the entire Bruce Trail because if that tape is the reason why I was able to like you know what I mean, keep going on that trail. Because like I remember the end of the fourth night there, I'm like, oh my God, like I couldn't even have my backpack touch my back. I was like thinking about how I could like put like ways of where I could have my backpack in the front of me or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to figure it out, like how am I gonna do this? But like yes, thank God I had that tape, put it on, and it stayed on for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
So the Durston backpack that I got, I because of what happened on the Bruce Trail, I taped my back beforehand, but I didn't have to. The tape fell off, and then I remember like the backpack was really, I could really crank it down, and it didn't loosen up, and it was good, man, for the entire trip because like you really have to have that backpack glued to your back so it doesn't rub and chafe on your back, you know.
Yeah,
So.
totally. And so do you do any like mental prep or visualization or anything like that to get your mind ready for these long unsupported things, or how do you manage that aspect of it?
That's a good question. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, Jeff. I've always had a very I visualize a lot of things in life, and like even when I was a musician, like I pictured myself playing in front of thousands of people. Like I'm very singular focused with like there's a lot of pros and cons to it, but like whenever I do something, I'm so laser focused on that one thing, and I get obsessed with it. So it's like whenever my wife was driving me the Bruce Trail, like it was crazy even before starting it, and I know like for sure it's just because I'm naive too. I'm naive as fuck. So it's like I get in my van. I'm getting driven to the start of the Bruce Trail, and I picture myself already at the end of it. But like it's like obviously anything could happen out there. And like now, like I just announced yesterday because I've been talking on the podcast about the project I'm doing this year. So I announced yesterday on my Instagram what I'm doing. And I'm kind of at the point now, Jeff, where it's like I don't really care like what happens. Like me getting at the start line is already a win for me. You know what I mean? Like the preparation that goes into it, like you know what I mean? My mindset that goes into this, like I'm already winning by even just stepping on the start line. So it's like whether I get the job done or not, it's like I've already won and I'm okay with it if it happens or not. So like one way or another, I'm gonna learn out there. So yeah, like in terms of preparation mentally, it's just like I just feel like it's just a matter of just I don't know, man. Just being focused and like having a goal, setting a goal in the beginning of the year, having something to work towards. Like I coach clients too, and I always tell them it's like either sign up for a race or sign up with a coach and like have something that's going to motivate you to, get out the door and lace up or go to the gym and get that workout in, and for me right now, what's motivating me is these projects. I set up a project for myself, and then I got something to train for. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
and
like
so
that's how I prepare myself.
totally. So with like 8 months, or I guess 6 months till the next project, how do you train and prepare? What kind of things do you incorporate to tailor to a specific project like the long trail now?
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of started last year. Like on the Bruce Trail, I was doing strength training. Obviously, I always do so much strength training. In the wintertime, I try to like really focus on the strength training, and then whenever the springtime comes, I'll start like bringing in like my nose breathing runs. I try to like really incorporate those strict nose breathing because it really kind of drops my heart rate and gets me relaxed while I'm running. But then the Adirondacks, man, that's a really good place for me because what I usually do is I'll do two back-to-back big days. And I find that back-to-back big days really prepares my body and my feet for the pounding and, the long days on trail. Because, like, I tried having my coach, Ray, like, he tried giving me a plan before the Bruce Trail. And I remember, like, one thing I don't like is, like, a running plan where it's, like, heavy running focus. And all week you got, like, this day you're doing 20K, that day you're doing hill sprints, this day you're doing tempo work. I find it's like almost like a little overwhelming for me. So I don't know what it is. I like to go by feel. And
Mhm.
for me, what's been working for me is like I'll spend those 2 big days. Like I'll devote 2 days and go to the Adirondacks and then go do those big back-to-back big days. And then strength training, man. Like because it's like at the end of the day, like we're doing so much climbing and the descending, it's really hard on the quads, it's really hard on the legs. So it's like that's where I feel like that's why I'm pretty good out in the mountains because I focus so much on strength training. So yeah, I don't know, man. I've been the last 2 years now have been kind of the same training plan for me, and so far it's been working. So
Yeah, are you going to change anything up going into the long trail?
no, no. So the internet. Are you familiar with the International Appalachian Trail in Quebec that I just
Yeah.
did?
Yep.
Are you? Yeah. Have you been to the Chick Chalks and stuff?
I haven't been up there, no, but we've talked to a
No.
few people that have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Really, really, really beautiful trail. Very rugged, very technical, but like that had 85,000 feet of climbing, and like it was 650K. So like it had the kind of same amount of elevation gain as like the long trail would. So I felt very strong in that, and like I said, like my preparation going to that was mainly strength training. Last year, actually, I didn't do as much work in the mountains. I didn't really do as much running either. I was kind of focusing more on strength training, but I'm going to incorporate more running and more mountain work this year because one thing I realized when I went out to the IAT, like my feet were a little bit more tender quicker because I think like my body wasn't used to like those long days like that. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
did put in some big days in the Adirondacks, but not like I did for the Bruce Trail. So that's one thing I'll maybe switch up a little bit is maybe have a bit more longer days out in the Adirondacks. But yeah, honestly, man, I'm just kind of prepared all year. Like I'm always training. I love it. So it's and it's a real mental side thing too, like to do it for 2 weeks alone. Like I remember when on the Bruce Trail, like day 7, I had a panic attack. Like I was just like, what am I doing? But now it's like, whenever I went on the IAT, just like that 1 year gave me so much experience that when I went out on the IAT, I was totally like mentally strong and prepared to take on such an adventure. So
Yeah. What do you think contributed to that panic attack? Just the overwhelming thing you were doing?
yeah, I think so. I remember like in the morning I woke up and every morning I was like, like skipping around. I'm like, I'm having the best time. And the day 7 came and I was like, I couldn't even like I was like, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I was like my vision started closing and stuff. And I remember I called my wife and I'm like, and I'm not making any sense. And I start singing it to her. And she's like, "You all right?" I'm like, no, not really. I just like, and I just like, she just kind of like talked me into it. And, like, she's got a really calming voice. So she helped me out. And then I ended up having one of my best days. And then I had another panic attack on the Bruce Trail, and that was whenever I went into my second night where I was pulling all nighter and I had no food, and I was really messed up. Like I was hearing voices, I was seeing yeah, there's a lot of things I learned from the Bruce Trail. Like on the Bruce Trail, I didn't sleep at all for the first 7 days either. And on the IET, I slept like a rock every night. And like, little things like not taking magnesium. Like one thing I learned, like on the second trail I just did, like I took a bunch of magnesium and I was taking that every night, and it was helping me sleep. And on the Bruce Trail, I didn't sleep for the first 7 days. I was so like jacked up, and my body was like going crazy by the time I put my feet up and tried to sleep. So, just little things like that. You learn so much, man. And yeah, like on the Bruce Trail, I had micro hallucinations every day. Like
Wow.
it was
What's the
yeah.
craziest hallucination you had?
Well, probably my last push. Whenever it got into the second night and it started getting dark, I remember, dude, this was crazy. So like I had to keep looking back on my Koros app. I thought I was running back and forth, like up and down, up and down. I didn't think I was moving in a forward direction. And I kept looking at my map, and like at the end of whenever I finished it, and like I was moving forward, but I remember like that was happening. I thought I was going back and forth, like I was lost. And then I was hearing voices, like I kept hearing like Cody, and it's
Wow.
like, oh, it was crazy. And like like just micro hallucinations, like seeing stuff. Like I always thought I saw people on the side of the trail like applauding me. It was just crazy, man. Like I just not sleeping really does affect you, and it affects your how quick you're moving. It affects everything. But like the fact that I was able to kind of pull through and get it done, like it just goes to show that the human body and mind can push through a lot. And yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man.
John G is our first sponsor of the show, janji.com. And you know what? They donated some gift cards for the giveaway in the March Madness Bracket Challenge, Outdoor March Madness, as we're calling it. What do I love from John G? I've been wearing the 2-in-1 shorts because the pockets are great and I don't chafe as much as usual. I also wore the Ultra shorts, the AFO Ultra shorts, because they have pockets, like traditional pockets on the Appalachian Trail. So go over to johng.com and check them out and tell them I sent you. Were you scared when you first started having hallucinations? Because I remember the first time I had them, it was quite scary, and then now I'm pretty used to them. But how did it feel the first time?
So my first hallucinations were on my 100-mile races, and like I remember I did 2 of them there, and like the year before, and one of them I saw a Buddha on the side of the trail. And then I remember one time, like one of the races, well, the first race I did, the first 100-mile race I did, I didn't have any pacers, didn't have any help. And like the last 50K, I remember I dropped into hypothermia. So like I did have some hallucinations in that race, but like I was kind of fighting for my life on that one because like there was no sweepers. I was the last one on the trail. So I was like really struggling on that one. But like on my second race, the second 100-mile race I did 4 months later, I had a pacer. So I didn't really have to think about my navigation. I just kind of followed him. But I remember like one time, I told my buddy Seb, I'm like, oh, look, there's turkeys on the trail. And he's like, look, and he starts laughing, like, 'cause there's no turkeys there. You know what I mean? So a lot of visuals for me. I see a lot of stuff. And that's why I say micro hallucinations, because it's not like they're crazy, like I'm out of body experience. Like, I mean, for sure they're out of body experiences, but like they're not like trippy where I'm like losing my footing because I'm like freaked out. It's more just like kind of just, you just kind of laugh about it and you just move on.
Yeah. What's
You know
the
what I mean?
wildest animal encounter you've had on these adventures?
So the last adventure I did, the International Appalachian Trail, I came across a moose, and it was about 50 yards away. I remember it was like running. I was climbing up this mountain, and it was getting pretty late, and I'm like, frig, I'm like, I gotta like find a spot to camp because like, I gotta cook my food, and it's gonna get dark, and I don't want to be sleeping on top of a mountain. And I remember as I'm climbing up the mountain, I keep looking at my maps. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna camp. But then this moose, man, starts running through the woods, and I'm not even lying, like a big bull moose. I have a video of it too, and is ripping these trees right out of the ground. And like I didn't know what to do. It's like my first kind of like I scoped out the trail before that a month ago, so like I came across moose then. So like, but I still didn't have much experience with it. And I remember like I just thought I'm gonna shout at it. Maybe it'll scare it some more. I'll keep going. So I'm like I just like yell like hey. And the moose ended up stopping dead in its tracks. And I remember it like looked at me. And this is not like I said, it's 50 yards away from me. It looked at me, and the hair stands up in the back of the neck. And now I'm like, I slowly get behind this tree. I have my phone up, like taking a video of it, but it didn't move. It just stood there and was staring at me. And it was freaky for a bit, but then like nothing was happening. So like for about 15 minutes, we were like on the standoff, but like the trail went exactly towards the moose and took a hard right. And I'm like, man, I got to keep moving. So I just went for it. I went right towards the moose, and then I took the hard right and went up the mountain. And I just kind of kept moving because I was like, man, I don't want this moose smelling my sweets and everything at night in my tent. Like I need to keep going as far as I can so he doesn't smell my food. So I kept going, and I ended up sleeping on top of this mountain in the middle, like I ended up setting up camp at like 8 o'clock. And in the IAT, man, it was crazy. I started in August, and like whenever I was out in the chick chalks in the mountains, like it was going down to single digits, like next to freezing every night. So it was like so like way up higher in elevation. So it was cold, man. It was really cold for like half that trip. But yeah, man, the moose for sure was something. I haven't had any bear encounters. Like so far, the trails that I've done, it's just black bears. There's no grizzly bears or anything. So I don't bring any bear spray or anything. Like
Yeah.
I'll only bring bear spray for like grizzly bear country.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? So
totally.
what about you? Do you bring bear spray?
Um, I think I should bring it more. I live in Montana, so like every single run has the potential for grizzly bears. But
Oh yeah, crazy.
yeah, I bring it sometimes when I'm camping, if I remember.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. The bears are fun, but yeah, I should bring it more. So
yeah.
yeah. So myself included, a lot of people don't know about the Bruce Trail. So would you describe what that trail is, where it goes, what it's about?
Yeah, so the Bruce Trail runs from Niagara Falls, all the way to Tobermory. And it kind of like, if you look on the maps, it looks like it runs through the city, but it's actually on an escarpment, and it runs through the city. And then it kind of gets out into this area where it's a little bit more like remote, and it's not like next to like Toronto or any of these big hub like cities or anything. So it's like it does have areas where it's like you're more like next to farm fields and stuff like that. Then in the Tobermory area, like at the end of the Bruce Trail, it's very rocky, very technical, and it's tough. But like the Bruce Trail is very, very well marked, and I do have to say, for anyone that's doing a through hike, I think that's a really good one to start with. It's hard, it's very technical, but if you got to bail out, there's places to bail out, sort of thing, you know. And on
Mhm.
the IAT, like I didn't really have any places to bail out. If I had to bail out, it's like I got to hit the SOS button, basically. You know what I mean? So that was the difference between the two trails. But the Bruce Trail was it's a beautiful trail, man. It's really well marked. I think it's I don't I think that I think it was founded in 1962 or 1967, one of those dates. But gorgeous trail. It's really, really well maintained. A lot of really good volunteers on that trail, and I highly recommend that one because, like I said, it's you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, but at the same time you feel safe because you are close to civilization in a way. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Is it forested most of the way, or mountains as well? Kind of what
Like
are the
yeah,
sections?
mountains like it's more like rolling hills. Like you still get a lot of elevation gain,
Hmm.
but it's not like mountains like the IAT or like the long trail that I'm gonna do. So it's more like rolling hills, but it's like very rocky. Like I said, it's like an escarpment, so it's like it's a lot of rock, which can be hard on the feet. And then yeah, man, like just like I said, you're kind of like ripping through farm fields a lot of stuff, and it's kind of got a bit of everything. Honestly, it's got a bit of everything. It's got some road stuff too, a little bit of not a lot of road work, but still some road work. Uh, yeah, it's got a bit of everything on that trail.
Yeah. As you've gotten into these things, what's like your strength? What do you kind of lean into as part of these? Because I think we all have strengths and weaknesses on these.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really. I thought my strength was my climbing, but I just went out on an adventure with my buddy Jameson, and he told me I was really good at descending. And actually, this is what's crazy, man. So like this, he's the one that introduced the long trail to me, but doing it as an out and back. It's like it hasn't been done yet, unsupported, and it's like I emailed the FKT website. They actually put it on the website, so it's up there now as an out and back. So he introduced that idea to me because like he originally wanted to do it, but when we went out, we did the Bob Marshall Traverse. We were gonna do an out and back on that, try to set an FKT for that, but yeah, anyways, we failed on that project. But like whenever he saw me out in the mountains, he saw that I was like just ripping the descents, and he's like, dude, he's like halfway through the trip, he's like, I want to do this project, but he's like, I think you're fit to do this. So then he introduced that idea to me for doing the long trail. I want to talk about that story real quick though. So Jameson Hat, He was the one that had the original FKT on the Bruce Trail, and the reason why I'm telling the story too is because he's a big fan of you and he's gonna be listening to this podcast. So, Jameson had the original FKT on the Bruce Trail, and I reached out to him, man, and he was super kind and took me under his wing and got on a bunch of Zoom calls with me. He was like ended up being like my second coach, and he helped me out, man, like get prepared for that Bruce Trail, and then I got the FKT. I had the FKT for about a year, and then Jameson went back out and then got his FKT back for the Bruce Trail. But like him and I had this epic story. So then we got together, met each other for the first time, and then we took on that Bob Marshall Traverse. And then we've been kind of like going back and forth, and like that's what I mean. Him set me up with this project that I want to do this year. It's kind of feels like a full circle moment. But Jameson, man, epic story. Like right before he took on the Bruce Trail to get the FKT back, his dad passed away. And so like he had something with him there because he smoked that FKT, and like he's just an incredible guy, and he's like I say, he's been helping me out in a lot of my stuff there, so I just want to give a shout out to him.
Yeah, what happened on the Bob Marshall Traverse?
So do you know the Bob Marshall Traverse?
I don't know. Where is it?
Well, it's in the Adirondacks. It's a really, really tough course. Like it's like 50K, but like 18,000 feet of climbing. It kind of like attacks a lot of the big high peaks in the Adirondacks. But we wanted to do it as an out and back. And what happened was we did the one way, and then like Bob Marshall was like, he started at like this hut, and he went out to this mountain, came back, and then did the traverse. So we were dropping our bags and doing these peaks. And we ended up dropping our bag like way up on the trail. We're okay, we just got to do that one mountain that's way over there, and then we'll come back, pick up our bags, and kind of continue on. So we dropped our bags, went down, did this mountain, and then came back to the chalet where we started. But we realized we had to go back up the mountain again, and then come back and go back to our bags to count it as an out and back, a true out and back. But like it was like we kind of messed up because we only brought so much nutrition, we only brought so much water, hydration stuff. So it was honestly, it didn't really matter. Like we kind of just got together for the fun of it, and like setting an FKT or not setting an FKT, it didn't matter. We were just out there to have fun. It would have been cool to set an FKT, but it was kind of a mistake on both our ends. But it was just funny because like two guys that have done two massive adventures get together to do this like 2-day adventure, and we both screw up, you know. So it's like it was just kind of funny how it worked out. But Jameson Hat, shout out to you, bro. You're a legend. So
yeah. Have you had any other failures as you've gotten into this world?
No, man. So like as I got a knock on wood there, like I since I got in the FKT world, like I've only like went for the bigger trails. Like I'm not like going out for these smaller FKTs. I kind of like just will like set my goals on one big FKT and just train for that all year and then go for it. So I only got into it in 2024. So I got the Bruce Trail. I got the IAT. The IAT, no one's ever done it unsupported, so I had to set the FKT for that one. And then just like the long trail, I'm just gonna go out and set the FKT. So
is it hard? Yeah. Oh, is it hard to walk by like a store or a gas station or something and not use anything when you're going unsupported? Is it hard for you?
So the only thing sometimes I really crave is a Coca-Cola. Yep. I really crave a Coke. And I remember on the Bruce Trail, I really thought about it, but on the IAT, I didn't. Like, man, I went the first 4 or 5 days without seeing anyone. And like whenever you get out in the chick chalks, you're not crossing any kind of corner stores or anything. So it's like you're not even thinking about it, you know? But yeah, I remember on the Bruce Trail, you're crossing like a lot of like little intersections and stuff, then going back on trail and you're seeing these corner stores. Like I could drop my watch and my backpack and my GPS on the trail, go grab a Coke, come back, no one's gonna know, you know? But like you got to live with these decisions in life, man. So it's like, I never did it, you know? So, but like, yeah, it's funny. You have these thoughts for sure, but it's not so much food, man. It's Coke. I really crave a Coke. Like I remember after the IAT, I called my wife. I'm like, all I want is 2 liters of Coca-Cola and a bag of all dressed chips. So finished the trail, and I literally crushed. She couldn't find a full 2-liter bottle. She like found like these little like mini 500 milliliter bottles, and I'm just pounding back Coca-Cola, and then I put down the chips, and it was funny, man. That's what I craved.
Yeah. How much weight did you lose on the IAT?
Man, still like 25 pounds.
Jeez.
Like, yeah, like yeah, for sure. Like. The Bruce Trail, I lost like 30, maybe a bit more, but the IAT, I was still skinny, man. Like I usually, like I usually like in the winter, like right now I weigh 183 pounds. I'm 5'7", 183 pounds. I lift a lot of weight though, man. Like like I'm moving a lot of big numbers here. Like I definitely focus a lot on strength training. I love strength training just as much as I love doing these adventures.
Yeah, what are
So
your numbers? Give us the big weights you're moving. What do you
yeah,
lift?
I was gonna say, but I'm like, I don't want to sound like a cocky piece of shit.
Nope,
But
now you got
uh,
it.
yeah. So my bench right now is 280. My deadlift's like 350. I know I could go heavier on the deads, and then my squats are like 350. So
Sweet. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm pushing. I'm like this year was my first year where like I really locked in with my like mind to muscle connection, and I feel like everything I'm doing, like my back's engaged, like everything I'm doing is like I'm really moving weight, and those are just like I'm not pushing for PRs all the time. Like I actually follow this protocol called Grease the Groove,
Mm-hmm.
and for anyone that like want like just search that up, Grease the Groove. It's a really cool protocol. I found it on Andrew Huberman's podcast. But basically, what my idea is with training is like I don't train to 100% every day. I train about 70% every day. And basically, I don't tax the nervous system. So I show up every day to my workouts ready to go every day. And I'm always progressing. And I'm always training, but not wrecking the body. And then maybe once a month, I'll push for a PR. But like since I've been doing that, my PRs, like whenever I do push for a PR, I'm like hitting these numbers that I'd never hit before, and I'm constantly just leveling up. So like, you know, before that, like whenever I got into the ultra running, like whenever I got back into fitness, like I said, I was following David Goggins, and like his mindset of training is like it's fun for a bit, but like you can't sustain that. You can't train. I mean, you know, some people can, but like you're just gonna be broken, you know. And I want longevity. I want to train smart. So yeah, man. Like I said, love him or hate him, there's a time place for him for everyone.
Garage Grown Gear is our next sponsor of the show. What do they have over there? Well, pretty much anything you could need for ultra running, trail running, backpacking, through hiking. They've got freeze-dried meals, they've got gear, they've got poles, they've got tents, sleeping bags, bug nets, they've got compasses if you happen to be running Barkley marathons in 2027. So check out garagegrowngear.com and tell them I sent you. Yeah, let's talk about this Grease the Groove principle a little bit, since maybe it's new to some people. It's basically, I believe it's like high reps, low intensity, often multiple times a day, but never,
Yes.
or very rarely to maxes, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So like
simplify.
there's a couple of different ways you could do it. Like let's just say the proper Grease the Groove protocol would be like you have a barbell, 225 pounds, and you deadlift that maybe twice, 2 reps every hour, and you do that if you do that for a whole day. So like that would be a proper Grease the Groove. So if you have a pull-up bar, maybe like do 5 pull-ups every hour, and like that way you're like you go in every pull-up you do for every hour, they're perfect pull-ups. You're getting way more repetition doing that than what you would do in an hour workout just trying to bang out 4 sets of like as many reps as you could, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's
like,
almost like, it's like we talked about Jeff Galloway too, who had this run, walk, run mentality for running. It's almost similar to that, where you erase the muscle debt or the fatigue with these little periods in between the reps too.
Yeah. So I mean, and then exactly. So then now, but like I said, so then the other way you could do it too is just like, because like that's what they said on this video. It's like, if you're not going to be doing a proper Grease the Groove protocol, like another way you could do it is like, then that's why I've been doing it, because that's just what's more manageable for me as I'm trying to build my business. But like going to the gym and just like being smart about how you train. Like like the other day I did a workout where I did like I did sled push. I focused more on upper body that day, so it was like a sled push. I did a shoulder press. I did a barbell row, a barbell bench press, and then like a core movement. I was doing like this, like with a barbell. I was kind of doing like this paddling thing where I'm kind of getting rotation in. But I did that as like a circuit. But I would like, but by the time I got back to the bench press, it would be like already like a 10-15 minute break. You know what I mean? By the time I got back to the bench press. So like that's kind of a way where you could do a Grease the Groove protocol and a workout in an hour long workout sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, totally.
And then like, you know, like my bench press, like for example, like I'm benching 225 pounds and I could do 8 reps of that, but I'm only doing 4 reps. I'm only doing 4 clean reps every time. I'm not pushing to fatigue. So yeah, that's just kind of like what I've been doing. It's kind of like maybe my own little twist on the greasy groove protocol, but it's working. And basically, what I got out of that protocol is like, just don't tax the nervous system every day. It's like you're basically just always constantly just training and just, you know what I mean, being playful and not messing yourself up for the next day, sort of thing. So
Yeah, and like the last thing on this, what I think is really good about it, like one of the underrated features is that it's very approachable, especially if you're like nervous about getting into lifting or something. You're never aiming for maxing out. You're aiming for form. You're aiming for just the right amount of fatigue, I guess, not ever pushing it to that point where like injury is more likely. So think of like a bench press. Like you never want to get to the point where you can't push that bar back up, and you're never getting anywhere close to it with the grease the groove protocol. So it's a good way for even beginners with no intention of hitting a max, just to like get into something without feeling like they're aiming for something unattainable too.
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You got
So
it.
Cody, I'm curious, what were you like as a kid? Where'd you grow up in Canada?
So I grew up in a small town called Lancaster, Ontario. I was like right on the border of Quebec. And my elementary school was like right in a farm field. Like I was basically a little hick. But I remember, I remember like my school was very, they were very music driven. Like my teacher, my music teacher was our French teacher. And oftentimes like we're in the French studio and he's like, you guys want to play music instead? And we're like, yeah. So we go leave I don't know a word of French. So, but I started playing drums at 12. And then yeah, my parents, man, honestly, bless them, like they're the best. But they gave me everything. I played hockey my entire life, so that was my sport, was hockey. Canadian, right? That's a very Canadian thing to do.
I was gonna guess you played hockey. Just
yeah,
a blind
exactly.
guess.
You know, it's just who I am, man. It's a real, I don't know, fucking shock of me. But anyways, but yeah, my parents gave me everything. They made me work hard though. I got to say, like my dad had a very successful business, but like he didn't give me everything. Like whenever I got my drum kit, like he made me pay for half my drum kit, and he paid for the other half. He made me start working at 12. Like I started picking strawberries at 12 years old, you know, like I started working at a young age, like reffing hockey, you know, and at 12. And, you know, so he taught me how to work hard. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. You know, she was awesome. Gave us everything too. Made sure we were, all had our lunches and everything for every day when we went to school, and drove us to the arena, to and from the arena. Like it was a full-time job just to raise two kids. I got a little brother too. He's 14 months younger than me. But yeah, man, in terms of like working out and stuff, like training, like I didn't learn this from my parents. Like my mom is a go-getter. She'll like play sports, but like she wasn't like going to the gym or anything like the way I was. I got to say, like I started working out at like 12 because like my first girlfriend said like I had a nice body. So I went home, I started doing push-ups and sit-ups every day. So like everything I did, like I gotta admit, Jeff, like even playing drums, I was like, I just want to get the ladies, you know? So I started playing drums, and like, but then like, you know, then I realized I'm like, oh man, you keep doing it. Like I'm actually half decent at this. And then like I met my wife at 16, been with her ever since. So it's like, I didn't really get too many ladies, that's for sure. And then, but like everything I've done, it was just like, it was very ego driven. And then, yeah, it's just like became part of my life. And it's just so funny how it works out. Like, I love telling that story because like, it is true. Like, you know, some people are like, oh, I worked out because I was trying to like clear my mental health. It's like, no, I was like, I worked out because I wanted to freaking get laid.
So what was your wife most into when you guys met? Was it your drumming? Was it your hockey? Was it your lack of French skill?
I just thought maybe I'm just a badass, you know, but no, it was just because I had the same like values in life, and I just like I wanted to do big things. I just wanted to live life to my fullest, and she really recognized that right from the beginning, and that's why like she's the same way, man. Like we both value what life has to offer, and family, and you know, just health and everything. So it's like I think that's really important. You know, we both had the same values, and we saw that at a very young age, and like I said, man, I'm very good at visualizing things, and whenever I first met her at 16, I'm like, I knew she was gonna be the girl for the rest of my life. Like and she knew it too. She always said like she wished she met me at 25 because like it's hard, when you're 16, it's just like holy shit, I just met the guy I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life. But it's like, so we ended up having a couple of hiccups, and it's like we had to have it because it's like if we didn't have any other experiences in life, it's like it would have been tough knowing like what I mean, not knowing what could have been. But like, so we had a couple of hiccups where we had 6 months breaks in between, like 6 months of a break twice, and honestly, it was probably the best thing that could have happened to us. But we're together, man. We have this house that we live together in, and we run this business together, and we do everything together. And yeah, man, it's everything, man. Having a good partner is everything. So I really respect her and love her.
So I want to, because I think it's so different from what a lot of people know. What is the Canadian childhood like throughout the winter? Are you just like waiting for ponds to freeze over and then you're playing like late into the night out there? What's it like?
Yeah. I mean, so like the old house, like my parents live on the river now, on the St. Lawrence River. So I've always been playing pond hockey. So for sure, like we play so much hockey already, like indoor hockey. Then I was reffing, like I was on the ice already, like 12 hours a week, even more than that. I honestly a lot, maybe sometimes like 20 hours a week I was on the ice. And then we go play pond hockey too. So like, yeah, for sure, man. We were just like, we just like live, breathe, like eat friggin' hockey. Like that was our thing. But like, I remember like at 12 years old though, like, so this is what was crazy, man. Like I always had big dreams, I'm a big dreamer. And like, I remember like before 12, I'm like, I want to go to the NHL. And then I hit 12 years old and we played with two guys that were NHL caliber players and they're skating around circles around us. I'm like, okay, well, fuck my dreams. Like, I guess that's not going to happen. And I remember like scouts were coming to see these guys and stuff like that. But then that's when I started playing drums. And one thing I always tell like the kids there, my wife and I do these presentations, and I always tell the kids like, one thing I love about music is that like the music dream can never die. It's like you could play music to the day, like whenever you're like old and brittle and you can't stand up and you can still strum a guitar. You know what I mean? So like that dream could live on forever. So like that's one thing I love about music is like, so whenever I was 12 years old and I started playing drums, and then I remember like I started playing drum solos in front of the schools and everything. And I remember like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was doing it for the girls. I remember like all the girls were like losing their shit over it. I'm like, I'm a rock star. You know what I mean? I was like, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But like, I dreamed so big because of doing something that most people weren't doing. And all of a sudden, like now I'm like I remember I went from playing club shows to like all of a sudden playing on tour, going with my band, like playing all across the States and the Caribbeans and doing all these cool things. And I remember, man, it was just music was a really, really big dream of mine. And I was this close to giving up hockey because like I stopped caring about hockey. I just cared about so much about drums. I'm a bit of an introvert, man. Like honestly, like a lot of people might not think it, but like I like being alone. And like, being a hockey player taught me how to work with others. But like, man, I like being alone, and I am weird too, It's like I'm definitely a little different than everyone else, and I'm okay with it, So it's like, it's what kind of made me who I am, I guess. And yeah, man. So
yeah, was it hard watching Canada lose to the U.S. in hockey?
Dude, I'm such a positive guy, so it's funny you say that. So for the first 10 minutes, I'm like, no, but then like after 10 minutes, I was just like, you know what? Like Goudreau, like whenever they brought his jersey on the ice. And then they brought his sons out on the ice. And then I'm like, the States haven't won in 46 years or something like that. It's good for the sport. I'm like, like I find people are like bringing too much politics involved in the sport. And that's why everyone was like so like gung-ho on seeing Canada win, because they're like, oh, fuck Trump and everything. But like, dude, it's like, okay, like politics aside, like it's a sport. Like they're kids playing. And like, I was proud to see these guys like, what's his name there that scored the game-winning goal there, like I forget his name now, but like they're young kids, and like they're like there was a huge accomplishment for these guys, and it's also going to bring now more kids into the sport in the States, so it's only good for the sport of hockey, so like it was all good, man. After 10 minutes, I was like one of the only Canadians. I was just like talking like this. I told this to my brother. My brother's like, fuck you. He's just like, he was so mad at me. And I thought it was so funny. I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know, man. I know how to flip it and be positive.
Was Canada really sad in general?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. I mean, but again, it's just like, man, we've won so many times. Like it's our sport. It's like, it's like we still won silver. It's like, it's still friggin' good. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. It was such a good game though. The boys put on a good game. It was such an entertainment to its finest. Like I had a blast watching it. Like I said,
totally.
it sucked for like 10 minutes, but then whenever they brought out Gujo's jersey on the ice, and like apparently it was his son's birthday that day and stuff. I'm like, it was just a beautiful moment for the States, and then seeing all the friggin' bars going off, like everyone going off that whenever they scored that game winning goal. I'm like, it's like, yeah, good for you guys too. I know, because like I know you guys are going through a lot of shit too with like all this politics and stuff, and with what's going on with the government, and like, anyways, I don't want to bring that into this podcast, but it's tough for a lot of people, So it's like it was nice to see you guys have a win like that. So
Sawyer is our next sponsor of the show. So they've got filters. You've probably heard of the Sawyer Squeeze. It's very common, very popular out on the trails. But the sunscreen, this applies to all of you and applies to your skin. It lasts all day. It's called the Stay Put sunscreen, and Allison loves it. I love it, but she shows more emotion than I do. So she talks about how much she loves it in her episode recently on how great Sawyer sunscreen is. So check them out. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We had a lot to do with it as spectators too.
yeah.
So I want to use the last little bit here to talk about your business. So yeah, you let me know what you do to make all this happen.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, I was into heating and cooling. I was in the trades my entire life, and then like whenever I started sharing and documenting my journey, I kind of like started changing some of my closest buddies' lives. I started changing their lives around because they're seeing me run and getting after it. So then they started running and going to the gym, and they changed their life around. And like I found it was like that domino effect of just like seeing other people just like do things because you're doing it. And I thought that was really cool. So I remember like in 2024, I'm like, I was going to give myself a whole year to get out of HVAC and kind of promote like at the time I was doing in-person training. And then I like January 1st, made a post being like, yeah, I'm accepting clients. Then like, dude, like right away I had a full roster of clients, and I ended up dropping the tools and have been on the tools since. And then like did the in-person training for about a year. And then after the Bruce Trail, I ended up started the online coaching. And because I had a lot of people following me after the Bruce Trail, we started the online coaching business really quick. And then I converted in 1 year. I did for the in-person training for 2024. Then 2025, I went straight to online business on online coaching. And that's been a lot of fun. So like now we got our app, a new normal app. It's a branded app. And my wife's a nutrition coach, and I do the fitness coaching. I've been helping out a lot of guys that are running their first ultras. Like I want to make this very clear. It's like I'm not going to get you podium. I'm not that experienced, but like if you want to run your first 100-mile race or your first 50-kilometer race, like I got enough experience to help you get across the finish line. So that's what I really enjoy training athletes like that, because like they're very eager to get the training in. They're listening, they're taking notes, like they want to do it. So like they're a lot of fun to train. So I've been training a lot of athletes like that now. But I do have a big background in fitness, so I do a lot of the fitness programming and stuff. And it's just accountability, man. It's about having a community. And that's one thing I realized. Like it took me a year to realize, like, how the hell am I getting paid for this? Because I'm so used to like working my hands and getting my hands dirty and working hard. And then I started doing the online coaching, and I started like making paychecks. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like I feel like I'm not even working, but I'm realizing it's like, what we're providing is so much. It's so valuable because like people. You know what I mean? It's like if you're like kind of checking in on them and you're holding them accountable to like whether they're getting the workouts done or not, it's like that's very valuable, man. Because like if you could change their life, like it all starts with your health and fitness. If you could get healthy, your everyday life's gonna be better. If you're in business, your business is gonna do better. Your relationship with your wife, your family, it's gonna be better. So it's like it's such a positive experience, such a positive gig, and yeah, man. So we're just doing the online thing right now, and yeah, just having fun doing that.
Yeah. Do you coach anyone to like get really fit to get the girls like you started out? Do you have any clients like that?
No, not really. I'm like I said, dude, I'm the only weird one that thinks like that.
What? And so describe the app for people. What's in the app?
I mean, the app, it's like a platform where my wife has a lot of resources, nutritional resources in there. Basically like it's like an app where it's like we'll keep everything organized, where like your structured workouts will be on there. the nutrition goals if you're working with my wife too. Like sometimes with my clients, because we have like other packages where it's like fitness and nutrition. So then you have two coaches in your corner, and then it's
Mhm.
like, you know, every day you get a notification whether it's a workout or a nutritional goal or whatever it is. And it's just tailored to the client. So like the app is not an open app. It's like you have to be a member with us. But we have different packages. Like we have a low ticket item where it's like if you just want programming with some
Mhm.
light accountability, and then you get on the app, and then like there's a community section where it's like it's almost like a Facebook group basically, but it's all on our new normal app. So I think like what makes us different from a lot of other coaches is that like we're very hands on, and we really do care about our clients. We're not like, you know, we don't just like wheel these people in and then just gotta give them a program and don't talk to them for an entire week. Like I constantly talk to my clients like every day, you know, um,
Mhm.
whether it's text or even phone calls or whatever. So I like being hands on because I really do feel like, you know, I like getting involved. So.
Yeah. Last question. What is the best thing and what is the hardest thing about working with your partner?
The best thing is that I get to be with her every day. And like, you know, you realize that like, especially when I was doing HVAC, you you realize like, you know, you work 40 hours and then like, you know, whenever you get home, like you're a little tired, you go to the gym, you realize at the end of the week you have such like like limited time with each other, like
Mhm.
quality time, you know. So I think doing that, doing this with her has been a lot of fun because like we're together, we're building this business together, we're constantly chatting about all these ideas, and we're just together, man. And like, you know, like I care about her and she cares about me, so it's like it's really nice to be with her and building this business up with her. The hardest thing would be because like we're still like a you know fairly new company. It's like sometimes we catch ourselves only talking about business. So sometimes we really
Mhm.
have to, you know, just keep in mind like, you know, life's not all about business. It's like it's about, you know what I mean, just other things in life, you know, and you know, talking about other things rather than just always about business. So I'm very bad for being like a one track mind. So it's like
Mhm.
she's constantly reminding me. It's not the other way around. so so it's usually me that's kind of being that guy. But that I'd say that's probably the only hard thing. She's a
Yeah.
lovely girl, so I love working with her.
Makes sense. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining. Where can we find you online and more about coaching and your adventures?
Yeah, I mean, so we got a website, www.findyournewnormal.ca. So that's where you could like fill out the form, and then if if you guys want to get on a discovery call with us there and see if we're the right fit, we could do that. My Instagram's at Cody Taylor Performance, and that's with TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, Cody Taylor. And yeah, man, like I'm training for some like the long trail. Like you have the long trail. Well, you did have the long trail FKT, right?
Yeah. Formerly, like a decade
Yeah,
ago. Yeah.
yeah. So like that's why I think it was really cool to jump on this call with you. But so I just yeah, so I'm gonna be sharing a lot of the preparation for that. I think what's really cool, a lot of people don't really understand or see like what it takes to get into some like to get
Mhm.
into a project like that. So I'm really gonna try hard this year to try to document like all my training and all the nutrition and everything that goes into it. So if you guys want to follow that, it's on my Instagram, Facebook at Cody Taylor
Yeah.
Performance. So,
As a former FKT holder of the long trail, do you have any questions for me?
um, when did you do it? What month?
Let's see. I think I did it in June 2019.
How were the bugs?
They weren't too bad. It was mostly muddy and really humid, so that
Yeah,
was more
I heard
brutal.
it's really muddy. It can be really muddy out there. So like I'm gonna probably attempt it maybe mid July or beginning of August because I still like
Mhm.
I like the long days, and I like to have a bit of a training period going into it. So I've been kind of doing my summer FKTs around that time.
Yeah, I really like
Honest,
planning around the full moon too, where you get like a full moon in the middle because then the nights feel easier to work through.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I don't even really think that far ahead, to be honest with you.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I just kind of go by weather. Like, I just see if I
Mhm.
got a good weather area there, then I'll just kind of go for it. But yeah, honestly, man, it's I'm just gonna go out and have fun and see what happens. Like I said, like I don't really care anymore. Like if I get it done, great. If I don't, well, I still won by preparing for it and getting to the start line, being healthy enough to do these things. So it's all good, man. I'm
Yeah,
stoked to do it. So.
That's so the truth as we get older and have other things going in our lives. Like getting to still go do these things that take multiple weeks is really the main goal. And if you accomplish it, that's like icing on the cake, because it is so hard to set up life to take 2 weeks off to go for a goal.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that's absurd, doing it as an out and back?
No, I don't think so. Where are you going to start up north and do out and back?
Yeah,
north?
I think I'm going to start in Canada, like on the Canadian border.
So the hardest section at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on. This was great.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you for listening to the show. As a reminder, just Google Free Outside March Madness and you will find the bracket. Fill yours out. It's going to be a good time. I'm releasing it on here, or I'm telling you that it's live on here first, because you guys are really awesome, loyal listeners. You have been so great and so fun to grow this community. So put your picks in, vote on the Google form, and we will start seeing how these things go. It will be very fun. If you want to get more content from me, some hits the website, freeoutside.com, but if you're looking at the bracket, you're already over there. Some hits the Substack, freeoutside.substack.com. There's a movie on Tubi about my unsupported Colorado Trail, FKT. If this unsupported chat got you interested in something like that. And if you want to just give away your money to me, patreon.com/freeoutside. All right, there's always more that I forget to say on here, but I just want to say thank you to all of you. And I also have to say, because I say it every episode, stay elite, my friends.